Hi everyone, thanks for coming back and joining me again tonight. So tonight we're going to do a true smoky eye tutorial. And to start, I started off this morning, for any of you that may have questions about our all-natural skincare, I did a video on that this morning, prepped my skin. I did a 5-minute makeover, so this is still the same makeup from this morning. I did my regular foundation, my Shinto 2. I mixed a tiny little bit of my liquid foundation with that. On my cheeks, I actually used, here it is, my Macaroon, the Enduring Lip Color. So I wanted a little pop of color here. And lightly did my brows, so we're going to enhance on that tonight. But what I want to do, since it's a smoky eye look, we're going to pop things up just a little bit. So I went very light today. I'm going to take, this is some of my Kevin Aquan contour shade. So this is the Sculpting in medium, and I want to bump my contour up a little bit. So I'm going to start where I always do. So at the top of the ear, come down, and I'm going to come just under my cheek here a little bit, just to help lift it a little bit more. And you can see this is pretty dark, so we're going to blend that in tonight. Putting it under the jaw, pulling it down a little bit. So let me get my blending brush out here. I'm going to use my NARS blending brush tonight. And just blend that in nicely. Might add just a little touch more blush. We'll see when we're done the look. So a true smoky eye, it's going to stay very, very dark down towards the lash line. And like a billowing smoke would do, stay dark at the lash line or at the base of the fire. And then as you start to go up, it's going to start getting lighter and lighter. Okay, so I've blended that in pretty nicely. I'm going to go in and fill the brows in a little bit more also tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little more dramatic on my brows this evening. I have already sprayed some of my setting spray into my cup. So I'm going to dip my eyebrow brush in there. And I'm going to grab my magnifying mirror, and I think tonight I'm going to take a little spot of my One Night Stand mixed with my Taupe for the Best. So I really want to draw in some very, very fine looking hairs. So if you can see as I'm coming in closer, it's definitely applying more pigment than I did this morning. I did a very, very light look. I'm going to go back in and grab a little bit more. I'm going to fill this spot right here. And I want to make sure that that is making my peak there. And filling out here where I'm a little sparser. So let's take a brush through and see how we're doing. That's much better. So now if you can see from one brow to the next, it's definitely defined it a little bit more. So I've matched the peak. We're going to go over and do the other one. Hi Jackie. Jackie, you've become a regular. I love seeing you this way, but I can't wait till you're back here so I can see you in person. So I'm going to go back into my setting spray, wetting the brush a little bit. And I'm going to pick up both colors, a little bit of my One Night Stand and my Taupe for the Best. And this brow, again, just drawing in just very little strokes here for some individual hairs. I'm going to come just under there. And I'm going to also just exaggerate that peak a little bit on this side. This side, as I told you all, doesn't need as much help. It does need a little more help in the front end here. So there we go. I'm going to brush through. This one needs just a little bit more right there. Okay, so that's defined the brows a little more. I'm not so concerned about these little holes here. Brow should look nice and natural towards the front end. So that's brows done for tonight. So now's where the fun's going to begin. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use, I have a rescue palette that I got from Terry Tomlinson, and this is basically just all cream, or actually very much like our foundation, wax-based products. I'm going to take some of the black from here, and we're going to line all around the eyes with this. And that's, oops, I just dropped the lid, but that's probably way too much product. I'm going to put that, I have a little bit of palette paper here tonight. So you can see how easily that spreads out. So to start with, I am going to grab 2 brushes. So I have, where is my, here it is. I'm going to have my angled liner brush and my pointed liner brush. And what we're going to do with this, and this doesn't have to be so neat. This can be pretty messy, which is why I've actually left my little bit of liner that I had on this morning. So again, we want it the darkest towards the lash line. And I want to come in with that. So you can see I'm not being real precise with that because we're going to go right over it with shadow. I'm going to do this first on both eyes. And I think it went a little heavier there, so we're just going to make it nice and even. There we go. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to tight line, and so the little membrane just underneath, if I pull my lash back, this water line or the membrane, the skin, just below the lash line I want nice and dark, and then again on the water line here on the bottom, the membrane, we're going to darken. So I'm going to use now my bent liner brush. And I'm just going to come underneath the lashes to darken that. So I'm hoping you all can see what I'm doing here. And I've got to use my magnifying mirror to pull back. So now if you see when I lift that membrane back, that's all nice and darkened in there. I'm going to come down and do the lower, and this one I like to just pull down a little bit. Okay, so that's the one eye done. I'm going to go over and do the other eye. And sorry, I'm concentrating a little bit. I don't want to poke myself in the eye while I'm doing this. So I'm going to come down again on the lower lash line. Sometimes it's easier to put a little on and let go. Put a little on and let go. Okay, and you see I'm being just a little messy. I'm not really worrying about that. But what I'm going to do before I go any further, I'm just going to wipe my brush off a little bit so that I don't have so much of the cream product on there. And tonight I'm going to be using our One Night Sand here. First thing I'm going to do is go in and actually set the water line. So I'm actually taking that shadow and going right over the cream product. And that's going to help that last. And I'm sorry, my right eye is starting to tear a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to grab a Q-tip here and just soak up any of the water before I go over to this eye. And sometimes by holding the Q-tip right on the edge here and tipping my eye is going to help the water run out. And you can see with the cream product, I'm just going to blend this away. So this is where the hooded area of my eye is coming up. We're going to set that very shortly. So again, I'm coming in with black eyeshadow. This color is called Dial It Black, and it is nice and black. Come down and do the bottom. Okay, now I want to also tell you that a true smoky eye, actually, the smudgier it is, the better. So we don't have to worry so much. I'm just cleaning up some of the fallout underneath here. So with a true smoky eye, actually what the look was originally, it should really almost look as though you have gone out and partied all night long, gone to bed, slept in your makeup, have woken up and have it smudge everywhere. So I don't worry so much about it being so precise. We just want to make sure it's blended. I'm going to take my brush. So this is a combination between a pointed brush and a flat brush. It's nice and flat and has a little bit of a point. And I'm going to go into that Dial It Black, and I'm just knocking off a little of the excess. I'm actually going to flip my brush around now, because again, we want that shadow to stay darkest at the lash line. And I don't want it to come up real high. I just want it so that when I open my eyes, you can just see it right here. So I'm going to pack a little bit more there, and I want to come in and get that inside corner. Okay. I'm going to put some on the other eye, and then we are going to go crazy with the blending. Again, I want it to stay dark at the lash line, but we want it to start blending as we go a little further up. Now you can do a smoky eye with just black. You can do black and gray. You can do black and color. There's so many different ways that you can do it. And tonight I'm going to do black with a little pop of purple. So now if I'm looking straight on again, that placement is starting to look real good. I'm not worried about anything that's falling down underneath at this point. So I'm now going to take a blending brush. I have a MAC 217 here, and I'm going to start blending. And you can see as I'm blending, I'm actually blending down. I'm not blending up. Because at this point, and I need to grab my handy tissue so I can keep wiping and blending that product. So again, I'm not going up because we're going to eventually start moving up a little bit higher with some of the color. Now as you can start to see, it's starting to blend out. We stay nice and dark at the lash line. And that's why I put that cream product down. I wanted that to stay the darkest. And we're still wiping off a little bit of the product here. I can actually, I'm going to tip my brush a little bit because I want to keep that, again, blended going down. So this is a really fun look. I did this actually while I was in Dallas. One day I wore a dark smoky eye to my workshop, and see, yesterday, I think it was yesterday I did one. So I use all kinds of colors, greens, purples, you can do burgundies, you can do really anything you want. It's pretty limitless. And I'm going to just take my Q-tip. I want to make sure that's not coming up too high. I want to keep it down low. And again, I've not put anything underneath the brow bone. So going with the new trend, we're just going to keep that natural. What I had this morning is I did take some of my foundation and just went over my lids to even them out. And that's pretty much stayed put. Okay. Now we're going to add some color. And since in our Limelight kit I don't have any purples, I'm going to go back in to my shadow palette, and we're going to try this purple here. And I think it's going to turn out to be a little bit more of a, I'm hoping, a nice smoky light violet. I'm just wiping off the brush I was using before, and I'm picking up some of that color on both sides of the brush. And I'm going to come right here in the center where I really want some color to pop. And I'm going to bring that up just a little bit. So I'm still not going real high. But now it's coming up just a little higher. And I want to look straight on at the mirror. So that it comes just a little bit above. So not all the way, usually with my more of a contour color, I come up higher in the crease. We just want it poking out. And I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to start blending again. Again, still keeping it low. I'm not going to blend it high. So blend, blend, blend. I'm still swirling this brush. It's starting to come up a little bit too high, so I'm just going to take my Q-tip and push it down. And blend, blend, blend. So like I said, it should be almost like the peak of a fire. So as the smoke starts to almost dissipate and change, it's going to be nicely blended. And again, I have no product on this blending brush at all. Okay, let's see how we're doing. I'm going to take a look. Okay, so now when I close my lid, and I'm just going to blend this here a little bit more, you can see I still have the dark down towards the lash line. Now some of this purple is starting to peek through and up top the purple. So again, I'm going to sit back, take a look straight on, and as usual my eyes are lopsided, so I'm going to push this one down just a little bit. And I'm going to just sit back and take a look. And this one, because of the hood, I need to pull it up just a smidge. So I'm going to look at the mirror that's in front of me, a little further away. There we go. So now that's starting to even out a little bit. But again, I still need to blend this. So we're going to blend away here. I don't want to take all the color away. So I'm blending very, very lightly. It's a very, very light touch that I'm doing here. Sorry, my phone actually at home is ringing, so I'm hoping that's not too annoying. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my brush again and still blend away a little bit. Okay, now if I sit back and look in the mirror straight ahead of me, I'm starting to like the shape there. And I can see I came up a little bit higher on this one, so we're going to push that back down again. This is not the kind of eyeshadow that you want to do when you only have a few minutes to run out the door. Okay. Now what I want to do is go back into my angled brush. Again, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the black, and I'm going to put it underneath the lash line. Making sure I connect up with the outer edge here. And again, I'm wiping off my brush on my tissue, and I'm starting to blend that in. Come over to the other eye and do the same thing. Usually when I'm doing a dark smoky eye like this, I like to do this first before I put my foundation on. But I'm going to show you how easy it is actually to clean that up. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my brush again. And go ahead and blend. Making sure those edges are connected. Okay. Now while we're doing this, because I'm going to pile lots of mascara on, so I'm just going to put my mascara on nice and close to my chest so I can start warming that up a little bit. And let me take a look. Okay. What I'd like to do is I'm going to take my Q-tip. Oops, my mascara wand is moving around. There we go. And I'm just going to lift that color up a little bit. I don't want getting too far down. Okay, this is actually helping to blend it a little bit too. All right. So now you can see I have a little bit of fallout. So the easiest way to clean that up with your foundation on is I am going to take a little bit of my moisturizer, so my skin therapist. I'm going to take a clean Q-tip, and I am just going to lightly rub that right underneath where the fallout is. It's going to help pick up any of that. You could use a makeup wipe to do this too, but I'm trying to actually preserve the foundation, or some of it that I have underneath. We're going to have to touch up a little bit. If I used a makeup wipe, all the foundation would be gone. And especially the under eye area, you can see I really smudged here. So let me pick up a little bit more of my moisturizer and another clean Q-tip. I want to keep that area nice and moisturized so we can get the get some concealer back on. And I'm trying to pick up as little as I can of the moisturizer. And I have a really bad habit. I should check and make sure I have no black on my hands before I do this. And again, it's okay for it to be a lived-in look. We kind of want it that way, be a little more rock and roll that way. Which is why I pulled my hair behind. I floofed it up towards the top a little bit, just to kind of have a little more fun. Okay, so now what I want to do is I am going to go back in with a little bit of my concealer. So I'm going to take my concealer number 2 since it's the closest to my skin tone. Rub it to get it nice and warm. And we're going to clean this area up a little bit. And again, always lifting. Okay. I'm going to grab my foundation brush, or I'm sorry, my concealer brush, so I can be a little more precise in blending that in. And just blending it out on the cheek. I am going to add a little more blush. So now I'm kind of just patting it into the skin a little bit. And I'm going to take, this is just my foundation brush from this morning, still has a tiny little bit of color. And we're just going to blend that in. So I'm just really pressing that into the skin. There we go. And if I look up, I see I just want a little bit more light, so I'm going to take a little bit of my, just a drop of my liquid foundation here. And I'm going to come just right into those, the fold, or right where the eyeball actually starts to roll back into my head. And I'm going to keep this as precise as I can here in this spot. I'm not using this for coverage. I'm actually using it to diffuse light, so that when I tip my chin up, now those folds are starting to go away. So I want to keep it pretty precise here. Take that foundation brush again. There we go. Now, if I look up, you can actually see this one's a little bit brighter, which is what normally happens, versus the other one. But you can see how now that circle is gone. So even down, when I look down, it's a little better, but especially when I tip my head up a little bit, it's really nice and cleaned up. And I'm going to bring that up just a little bit on the inside of the eye here, just to lighten that up since everything else is dark. Okay, we're going to let that settle down. But what I want to do is, before I go any further, I want to set that because I'm real happy with the way that looks underneath my eye. So I am going to take a little bit of my pressed powder, and my nose is up and running again. There we go. And I'm going to press that right underneath the eye. I really don't want that to move. And actually, I didn't get too bad during the day, so I'm not so worried about the rest of that. So now, oh, excuse me, 1 second. There we go. All right, again, I'm going to mix just a touch of the bronzer with a touch of my blush. And very lightly, you can see I'm barely touching my face. I'm going to come forward with that. Again, 1 touch of the bronzer, 1 touch of my blush. And very lightly. I don't really want it to be all about the color on my face. but some of my redness is starting to poke through. It's because it's warm in the bathroom here. So I'm actually going to go back into my tissue and wipe off my blush brush a little bit because I really want to blend that. And tonight I think we're going to have a little fun. Since this would be more of a nighttime look, I am just going to pop into my little eyeshadow palette here and pick up just a little bit of my eyeshadow. This is more of an opalescent. I'm going to come up just a little bit. So I'm keeping it on the top of the cheekbone here. And now what I want to do is go back to my blush brush. I'm just going to wipe that off again, just so everything's blended. I just really want it to catch the light. I don't want to be glowing or looking, as I always say, like a disco ball. So, and I see I have just a little bit. I came up a little higher on the inside here. Okay, now we're going to go back to the mascara. And since I used our Limelight, the Perfect Mascara this morning, I'm still able to go right over that, even though it's so many hours later. The formulation of this mascara is just incredible. I already did this is my uptown, I did the downtown this morning, crosstown routine. So what I want to do is just really focus on getting the lashes just a little bit darker. And a little bit fuller. And I'm only going to concentrate on the upper lashes for this. Now they're starting to come through. So you can see from one eye to the next, it's really popped up some color here. So this would be a really fun night out look. Like I said yesterday, I rocked a dark green smoky eye during the day. So tonight I decided to go with some purple. I'm going to put on a little more mascara. Purple I always think highlights and accentuates the green in my eyes. They're actually complementary colors, which is why it does that. There we go. Now I could throw in a pair of lashes, but I want it all to be about the smoke on the eye, not about my lashes. This way I can really thicken my lashes up though. Okay. And now what I want to do for lip, I'm going to keep it pretty nude. I'm going to do it actually, I think I'm going to pop on the color I had last night, but we're going to put a little gloss, make it a little more fun. So this is a nice peachy nude. It's called Feline from Senna. And since I went pretty dark on the eyes, I'm going to keep the lips a little more nude. I'm going to take again my pencil. And this is going to help shape the lip, along with perfecting the edges. I learned so much in my workshop last week. It was just really tiny, tiny little touches that I loved learning. So now I'm going to take, and this is actually, let me show you the tube. This is a more lip gloss, and this is in the color Gypsy, and it really complements the peach that I have on my lips right now. And since I've left everything pretty well matte on the eyes, it's kind of fun to pop with a little bit of gloss on the lips. This is not ultra sticky. I am going to blot just a little bit. There we go. I don't like when you can see it on the inner corners of the lips. So I just blotted it a little bit, so now when I talk I don't have little strings coming and hanging down. So let me hold you up so you can see how that really, if I'm able to hold the mirror here. So now it's really gotten rid of any of the circles and lines here, and you can see straight on. That's what a dark or just a typical smoky eye really should be. I've kept everything dark, smoky, and I think quite fun. So I'm going out actually on Friday night. I think I'm gonna have to do this look because I'm really liking it. So if you have any other questions about any of the products I've used some Limelight, some of Terry Tomlinson's, and I'm loving this look. If you have any questions about anything, please reach out. Share the video. Learn how to continue. Whoops, my low power mode is coming on. There we go. I don't want to lose you, but I'm getting ready to lose the juice in my phone. So I will do another video next week. And please, if anybody has any suggestions, I would love to do anything that you'd like to share instead of just choosing what I'm enjoying doing at the moment. So please let me know. Just message me, comment on the video, and it's been a lot of fun. So I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.